Today, I will be walking you through the somatic experiencing way of supporting sadness. Growing up, it was taught to me that it was not okay for me to cry. So from a very early age, I learned that it was weak to show emotion, especially sadness, even if it was saying goodbye to someone that I wouldn't see for a long time. That was not okay. So I got lots of practice in numbing and distracting and denying that I was feeling sad. So when I learned this somatic experiencing way of supporting sadness that I'm going to be showing you today, this has changed my life so much because now I'm able to go through a situation that is a very sad situation where I am grieving and I can allow myself to grieve. And this allows me to not accumulate more stress, but actually be able to process these emotions as they come up and do it in a supportive way where there is no shame or beating myself up. So let's get started. What you're going to be doing is thinking of a situation in the past where you have felt sad. This can be the loss of a pet. This can be a good friend, childhood friend, and being separated from them. Whatever situation comes to mind should be fine. And you're going to put yourself emotionally back in that moment. What was it that you were feeling in that moment where you really feel the fullness of the sadness? And as you put yourself back in that situation mentally, are you there yet? Okay. Now I want you to see what your body is doing. I want you to shift your attention away from the story and the event and find where in your body it feels uncomfortable. I'm going to be doing this exercise along with you today to show you an example of how this can show up in your body. What we're actually looking at and going to be tracking is your nervous system. When we have emotions, this is a state of our nervous system. And so that is what we are paying attention to and seeing how the nervous system actually controls and shows up in different areas of our body. So as I think of my sad situation, the most uncomfortable, the most noticeable thing that's happening in my body right now is my chest. And my chest feels very heavy. There is some tightness in my stomach, but what seems to be catching my attention the most is the heaviness in my chest. And I'm touching my chest now because I'm trying to find where does it feel heavy and how does it feel heavy. I'm trying to actually put words to this nervous system experience of sadness. For me, what is showing up is it seems most centered in the center and over my heart area, but the whole chest feels like there's this heavy bag of sand that's just falling through because it's so heavy. I have a little bit of a sore throat that just started as I started to pay attention to my chest. And that is normal. It is normal that once you start paying attention to one place where your nervous system is making some changes in your physiology, causing that sensation of heaviness in my chest, then it can shift to other places. So even right now as I'm talking about that, I'm noticing there being like a tension behind my eyes. It feels tight, like my eye muscles feel tight, and I still have that sore throat. What we're going to do now is stay in focused attention on our body, not going back to the story, not going back to our thoughts, staying focused on what's happening in our body as we track the nervous system. What we're going to be doing is finding ways to support this expression of the nervous system as it is showing up as sadness. That means that we are going to be experimenting with different ways that we can support the nervous system and help the level of intensity go down. So you're going to give a number, 0 to 10, of the intensity of the discomfort of however this is showing up in your body. For me, I'm going to still give a number to the chest, even though I have a few other things like the tightness in my stomach, the sore throat, the tightness behind my eyes. I'm going to go with the chest heaviness. I'm going to give that a 5 right now. And what I'm going to be doing, now that I've given it a number, I'm going to try to bring that number down just 1 or 2 levels. Bring it down to a 4 or even a 3. I'm not going to try to take it to 0, and nor are you going to try to take it to 0. We're just going to bring it down 1 or 2 numbers. So if you're at a 9, your goal is going to be to bring it down to an 8. Not a 4, definitely not a 0, just to an 8. And so we go to the next phase, which is experimenting. I don't know what's going to work. I am going to put my hands right over my chest where I feel the most heaviness is concentrated. And I'm just going to put my hands there and I'm just going to see. And now I'm going to give this a number. And actually this did help. So with my hands there and putting some pressure, it's come down to a 3.5. And I'm noticing that the longer my hands stay here, the number is going down. So now it's at a 3. And I wasn't aware of any tightness in my neck and my shoulders before I started this exercise. But now that my hands are here supporting my chest, my shoulders feel like they are relaxing and there's less tension there. I'm noticing that the tension behind my eyes has lessened as well, and my sore throat is gone. My stomach, not. I would have given it a 3 or 4 before I started this, and now it's at a 2. So everything seems better just with this support. You may not have found the right support yet, and what you're looking for is something that you are just going to be able to call helpful. Is this helpful, meaning does it bring the number down, or is it not helpful and it actually makes the number go higher? You are going to experiment with different kinds of things until you find something that brings that number down, something that is helpful, even if it's just a little bit. And when you find that one thing, and for many people, they find a couple things, but once you find one thing, just sit with it and just hang out with it for a few minutes. And this is supporting sadness. And then what I want you to do for the rest of today is as you start to have any of these feelings, and by feelings I mean symptoms, not emotions, but like actual body sensation of, for me, it will be the chest heaviness. When I start to feel that heaviness again, I will know, oh, I'm feeling sad. Let me support my body in the way that I have learned is helpful.